I have never seen so much um, inaction that causes a ripple effect of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I mean by that is, it's easier to go along with whatever mom or dad says, whatever the aunt or
Yeah.
uncle says, whatever your wife or husband says. It's just easier to go with, they said they were fine, so they're fine,
Mm-hmm.
rather than doing any investigation or listening to your gut or stepping outside of yourself,
Right.
knowing this is going to take time, energy, it's going to interrupt your pattern of
Mhm.
life, but
Yeah.
in the long run, you will have this relationship that
Mm-hmm.
hopefully to their last breath will be meaningful and
Yeah.
beautiful.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA and on your favorite podcast channel and on YouTube. I talk to families all of the time. And one of the things that I hear a lot is, well, mom and dad are just fine. My parents are getting older, but mom still does this or dad still does this, and they may live in another part of the state or away, but it's not necessarily something that we really think about. And matter of fact, what I would say is the majority of families that I talk to that do not have, um, hands-on day-to-day interaction with their loved one is the fact that oftentimes families are in denial. They're in denial about what's happening. And so I have asked Daphne Davis to come on, and she's, those of us that love her and know her, Daphne, welcome to the show. I'm very much looking forward. We're going to do a 6-part series on, are you in denial? And if so, what are some things you need to check out? And so, Daphne, welcome to Answers for Elders. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope I queued that up okay.
Yes, it's just fine. Being at Pinnacle Senior Placements for the last, oh, I don't know, 15 years or so, something like that, I've lost track, has allowed me to have those same long conversations with families with
Mhm.
many, many stories. I don't think there's too many stories that I haven't heard already. But
Mhm.
one thing that I am seeing is that there's currently, and this is, I'm going to say in 2025,
Mhm.
currently I'm seeing a lot of skepticism, a lot of fear, a lot of lack of
Mhm.
trust,
Mhm.
a lot of what ifs,
Yeah.
and that it's becoming okay to maintain the status quo,
Yep.
even though there may be people suffering.
Yep.
And they can be quietly suffering, overtly suffering. Things can start sneaking up on you, and some of those things can really be insidious. You
Mhm.
may not know what your loved one's sleep pattern is.
Yeah.
You may not know how that's affecting their overall health in terms of not getting REM sleep. And so there's really early things that we can start paying attention to. And this
Mhm.
is this is my overall theme. Have conversations, everybody.
Yeah.
Have the hard conversations. They're easy for some families, harder for other families, but have the conversation. Speak from your heart. Say a preamble. Dad, this is really hard for me to bring up, but I'm not sure about your safety in driving anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. You might be, but Dad, can we have a conversation about it in terms of the things to think about or the
Mhm.
signs that we can watch for? And if
Yeah.
you and I work together as a team, maybe it won't be that painful when it comes time to not having your keys.
Yeah.
That's just one example of things to be looking for. So, in this first segment of our 6 segment series, I want to really focus on what are signs that say, I wonder if we should have a hard conversation. I've
Right.
given you a couple already. One about the REM sleep, one about driving patterns.
Mhm.
Another one is, and it's hard to read this because sometimes, and again, everybody, if you've listened to me, you know that my primary audience that I talk to is adult children and the seniors themselves. And so that's kind of my reference. I'm not excluding any other relationship, guardianship, niece, aunt, none of those.
Husband, wife.
Yeah, husband, wife, it doesn't matter. Include yourself. But
Yeah.
my language is going to going to get stuck at that
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
parent-child place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that, think about in terms of as you're evaluating things, think about this also. Is this my value or is this my loved one's value?
Yeah.
Is this my wish or is it their wish? And that takes a lot of courage to be that honest with yourself
Yeah.
as the person who's helping evaluate a situation and walking along someone else in their life journey.
Hmm.
Takes
Hmm.
a lot of courage to do that. Takes
Yeah.
introspection. And as you're doing this, you will be light years ahead for your own journey.
Hmm.
As you
You said something to me earlier about it's real easy for people to take no action rather
Mm,
than take action. Would you kind of elaborate on that? Because I think that is really the key. That there's this fear going on with families today, and I understand why in
mhm.
many cases. I think you and I've had discussions about in many ways, our industry needs to adapt, and we're not doing it quickly enough to the mindset of what's going on. But would you speak to that a little bit as far as, so no action sometimes they think is the best way to go, and
A
that's
lot of
not.
it's not. It is not. That's where we go back to the having the conversations. I am seeing for the first time a lot of no action. And I've been doing this profession for 25 years. I
Mhm.
have never seen it like this. And
That's
I've been
good.
saying this in my industry for at
Yeah.
least the last year and a half. I have never seen so much um, inaction that causes a ripple effect of suffering.
Hmm.
And so what I mean by that is it's easier to go along with whatever mom or dad says, whatever the aunt or
Yeah.
uncle says, whatever your wife or husband says. It's just easier to go with, they said they were fine, so they're fine,
Hmm.
rather than doing any investigation or
Hmm.
listening to your gut or stepping outside of yourself,
Right.
knowing this is going to take time, energy, it's going to interrupt your pattern of
Mhm.
life, but
Yeah.
in the long run, you will have this relationship that
Hmm.
hopefully to their last breath will be meaningful and
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well,
It's
and
worth your time.
yeah, and what you're saying is true because I think a lot of us are no, don't take action because we don't want to be met with defensiveness. And so we tend to be like, okay, I'll back off. I won't say anything. And it's like, I always use the analogy, if you see somebody in a canoe headed towards a waterfall, are you just going to, not intercede if you have the ability to stop it? The point that I'm making is that that's really that waterfall might be closer than what you realize. On the other hand, understanding, I guess my question is you meet with families all of the time and you understand that defensiveness. How can families best even initiate a conversation?
I This is how I do it personally and professionally, and that's to name the thing that you're most afraid of. Just name it. It will lose power. Dad, I know this is going to be a hard conversation. Dad, I want you to hear my heart, not just my words. I know this is not a conversation that we're
Mhm.
wanting to have, but trust me that it's one that's going to be good.
Yeah,
Just name it. Name what you're afraid of.
yeah,
Mom, I know you want to keep doing your laundry, but going up and down the stairs to get to the basement to the washer is making me so afraid of the consequences if you have an accident.
right.
And here comes the defensiveness. I'm fine. I haven't fallen down the stairs yet. I'm not going to. I know you're not planning to, but mom, you're in your eighth decade of life
Hmm.
and your body's not the same. It's not going to bounce back as when you were 40.
Hmm.
All those things, they rest in logic. They do rest in the what ifs, and a lot of people don't want to live in the what ifs. I think the other piece that along with the defensiveness and along with the uncomfortability of that, I mean, again, remember what I said. Name what you're most afraid of. Whatever
Yeah.
pops in your head, I don't want to deal with this, just name it. Name it.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
diffuses the defensiveness. But
Yeah.
I also see a great need for people to feel like they need to respect the wishes of whoever their charge or whoever they feel like they're needing to assist. That is accurate. That is accurate. You do want to respect the wishes, but the wishes of that elder may not be based in realism, and they may not be really what they want anymore. But they don't know how to step out of the role of being the patriarch or the matriarch.
Hmm.
They don't know how to do that. And
Yeah.
I see as as often as the defensiveness, I see the passiveness of the children,
Right.
the passiveness of the power of attorney, whoever that may be. Again, it's not you taking over their life. It's you lovingly talking to them and saying, "Can we have a conversation about this so that we're prepared? Can we have a conversation about this? I've never thought of you, Mom, as somebody other than capable of doing everything in your life. But
Yeah.
there's this natural, totally, it's going to happen process called aging. And in our culture, aging isn't a good thing, but we need to start making it a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to start talking about it in terms of this.
Hmm.
This is the inevitable because this is how the human body works.
Hmm.
Let's be
Hmm.
prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I want to know, is it really your desire to stay in this house and go up and down those steps and carry a basket of laundry up and down it
Mhm.
with you? Or would it really be, if I can wave the magic wand of life and have somebody else do my laundry? Could that be a possibility? It's just having the heartfelt conversations that are hard.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
hard because
Yeah.
you're changing roles. I see very often, from my perspective, as I'm working with families, the desire of the elders, the desire of the person needing the help to
Mhm.
have permission to say, I give.
Mhm.
I
And you know
see.
what? That's why the next segment that we do, obviously, is going to be an important one because this is where Daphne or someone like you fits into the picture. And I think it's something that's so valuable for families to think about. Sometimes it's not often, it's not your job to step into that advisory role. Don't be the parent of your parent. Allow someone like Daphne to come in that has the resources, has the network, and has the knowledge of just the progression of what's going on with a loved one that can help give you options. And so, Daphne, you and I, we're going to be right back. In the meantime, for those of you, make sure you check out Daphne's website, which is pinnacleseniorplacements.com. And we're also going to talk a little bit in our next segment about the national network that she is a part of as well. And so we'll be right back right after this. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.